I'm looking forward to see my city in peace again. Nablus was as one of the eldest cities in the world. It was a very nice place before the war situation, and I'm sure that it will be nice again in the peace atmosphere again. Not only Nablus but all of Palestine. And I think that there are a lot of people by both of the parties that believe in peace, believe in living together. And we saw even in the war situation that many of the soldiers are bored of what do they have. They talked with us and they felt really very bad. We are counting on the free people in both of the parties to start their initiative and to solve this kind of situation.
اوف برجعهم انا عمري
I want to go to Jerusalem, and actually when they made the Oslo agreement, it was that you agree that you can go to Jerusalem but not any time, because sometimes they may close it and it's not under your control, it's under their control. I can go to Bethlehem until I go to Ramallah first, and then I can go to Bethlehem, because now there is no cars going from here to Bethlehem or Hebron, so they already separate the north from the center from the south, and so I don't think it's a life. I used to go in a 20-minute to Jenin, and now I spend more than an hour extra, 1 hour extra to go there. And still, sometimes I have to stop to ask for an ID or what you are doing here. And
Imagine if you want to reach Ramallah, for instance, you have to go into a certain, or let us say a tremendous and a huge experience or bad experience. You have to go to a certain checkpoint called Huwara. From Huwara you have to stay until the Israeli soldier will allow you to pass. Once you are passing, you have another checkpoint to go through. It's called Za'tara. Not to mention the flying checkpoints that you might face on the road. So instead of reaching Ramallah in 45 minutes or 35 minutes, you'll end up reaching Ramallah in 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe 4. So it depends, and it all revolves upon the mentality of the Israeli soldiers.
Just escorted to go for a selection.
I cannot go to Jerusalem, of course. The people here cannot go to Jerusalem. The Israelis don't allow us to go there. Also, we cannot go to any place without we pass checkpoints around Nablus. Especially Nablus, we have a lot of problems with the soldiers. I cannot go, for example, to Jericho
without I pass 2 checkpoints. For Ramallah, the same thing. I have to pass 2 or 3 checkpoints. I start with the Hajiz Huwara checkpoint and checkpoint Za'atara, also Atara. I have to pass 3 checkpoints, and maybe they arrested me, arrested someone else. It's so bad to pass checkpoints. Of course, in the beginning they starting to looking for your name in the computer. If they say wants you, they can arrest you. And sometimes 2 years ago, when I went to Qalqilia, they arrested me in Za'atara checkpoint, not Za'atara, Zawata checkpoint, and I spent 11 months in the jail without any problems, without they say to me why they arrested me.
Huh? Yeah. I witnessed many of really terrible cases by which they killed persons after to be arrested. Ourselves as a medical team, we were without food for 12 days. We were eating the rest of the food which you cannot eat for 12 days. And we had in the field clinic more than 130 injured people for whom we couldn't do anything because we were isolated. The Israelis prevented any of the international parties to pass us the medicine or the food, at least to resist as much as we can inside the place of the military operation. It was crazy because they couldn't understand that we are a medical team. I was going to be killed 2 of the times in the first invasion of April 2002, me and 2 of my friends. One of them is still suffering from this because he collapsed and he has some psychological problems nowadays.
We've been humiliated so many times. You had a guy who's been shot in an ambulance and they ask you where you're from, where you live, what's your name, but I mean they have the ID and it's all written. You know, and I remember I went out of, we had a pregnant woman just in Huwara, so we had to cross Huwara checkpoint. And in the night they used to change the way, not on the main road, you go around the checkpoint. So you go in the field and the soldier is just like there, with their heavy weapons and stuff. And then, so you go on the road, you go out, you open all the doors, they check you. They even, I had snipers on top of a truck, like he's putting the gun on me. I don't know. I mean, I just it was 3 or 4 in the morning, and then I mean, it's only we kept telling them that we have a pregnant woman. I mean, she's waiting for us, and they just did some stupid check, and then we went, and actually the woman had the baby in the taxi, so we arrived really late, and it's not like the first cases, and it's not the worst.
At the Allenby Bridge, I had spent 2 months in Nablus, and I went to Jordan with some friends to see Petra. And when we came back, I witnessed some, humiliation on, a part of the Palestinians at the border, and I really got frustrated, and I got the feeling that I don't want to hide the fact that I'm in Nablus volunteering because I'm not doing anything wrong, so I shouldn't lie or shouldn't tell the, untrue. So I just told them I was volunteering in Nablus and I was teaching English when they asked me what I was doing, and they helped me for 10 hours, and they didn't want to give me entry into the country and told me to go back to Jordan. So I spoke to the officer in charge and I told him I had to come back to get my stuff, my computer and everything I have in Nablus. And he agreed to give me 1 week's visa, although my flight didn't leave until 3 or 4 weeks after this experience. So I had to go to Tel Aviv and get an extension and pay, 150 shekels and the transportation back and forth. So it's really a hassle. It's just harassment and nothing else. So they know I'm not a threat. They know there's nothing, about me that threatens Israel. Yeah, they told me that it's not allowed for internationals to be inside the West Bank.
This is in Warsaw. I go into the security line, and the first thing is a big, bulky guy, about 6 feet tall in a suit, comes and asks me to come with him. First he takes me to the front of the security line, in front of all the other people, and it's very quiet. It's Frederick Chopin International Airport. It's very peaceful there, just a small line of people waiting to go through the checks, and they're checking their bags. So first he has me talk to this one woman, and I ask her a question, is my bag here in the airport, because I was wondering if it had made it through from Chicago. And this is where the problem started. First, she asks me, do you speak Hebrew? Obviously I don't. Do you speak Arabic? No. Are you Jewish? No, but your name is Polish. Well, are you from Poland? No, I'm from the US. I show her my passport. So why are you coming here? Do you have any relatives who are Jewish? No. Like, well, what religion are you now? Why does that matter? And then, well, what? Okay, I don't have one. It's not, well, why do you want to visit? I'm a history student. Let me see your student ID card. So I take out my wallet and I prove to her, and they go to the computer and search that it's a real university and that I do go there. Is this your camera? Yes. Has anyone else ever used this camera? Yes, my family. We all use it. Well, how can you trust them? Well, it's my family. My sister's used it. I trust her because she's my sister. And eventually they take me into a separate room and back. And first they put me there, and I don't hear from them for about an hour. And then they come back and they bring all of my bags, or they bring my 2 bags that were meant to be my carry-ons first. They put them out on the table. They take everything out. They take the interior, they unzip that, they cut the full interior out, pull it open, swab the entire thing, check it for explosives. They go through each individual item I have in each of my bags. They disassemble my computer, pull it apart, search inside of it physically. Then they turn it on and have me show them the physical, or the data, electronic data. They have me play a song on my iPod to prove it works. And then they tell me to come with them to grab my checked bags from the cargo area down below. Bring my 2 main bags that I checked, and they take those into the room, and they go through, they unzip everything, take everything out of it. And this is where it really started to take a lot of time, because they would ask me a question, walk out, disappear for 30 minutes, 45 minutes at a time, come back into the room. They would keep going like this. And even though I had shown up 6 hours early for my flight, just to be sure that I made it, I didn't want to miss it. And from everything that I'd heard, I'd been expecting to be interrogated once I got to Ben Gurion. But this was before that, so I wasn't really expecting it. Eventually I convinced them to let me take at least my small laptop bag onto the plane. I don't get to bring my laptop, but I get the bag with a couple books I had. So I take this with me, and they saran wrap everything else, and they say, you'll have it by the end of the week.
J'ai touché la souffrance en fait avec les comme réfugiés. Quand je commence le cours comme d'habitude, Je demande aux élèves de dessiner n'importe quel dessin. Les élèves où se trouvent comme réfugiés dessinent les martyrs, les tanks, les véhicules militaires, les revolvers, etc. Tout ça. Mais les autres enfants qui sont en fait riches un peu dessinent des football, jasmine, etc. Il y a beaucoup de différents entre les deux côtés, mais ça se passe particulièrement comme réfugiés. Les élèves ici en Palestine, les élèves deviennent plus agressifs en fait. C'est pourquoi c'est à cause de la situation. Quand les enfants dorment sur les voies de fou, réveillent sur l'incursion, réveillent sur le voie des tanks, les soldats qui disent Corfoufou, c'est interdit de sortir.
Since 2002, the Israelis are occupying the city every night. And this negatively affects the psychological health of the citizens of the city. I don't sleep well. I'm expecting the Israelis to knock on the door of my flat and enter it anytime. I'm seeing nightmares when I sleep. When you see the Israeli soldiers when you go to sleep, or people everywhere in the globe go to sleep to get some rest. When I go to sleep, I wish every night not to see the Israeli soldiers in my nightmares. Sometimes they are coming using speakers and imposing curfews. Many of the citizens left the city, by the way. Many of the citizens found their jobs abroad and left the country. And I don't believe that this is the solution, but frankly speaking, life here is unbearable.
Every day, every moment, we are expecting that they will be in, that they will go inside just to take someone, just to kill someone. They stayed 2 weeks in my house. I had a really good spot on the city, so they had like snipers on the roof, and I think there was like, every day there was more than 10 or 12 tanks on the street, and like they took like my house, my uncle's house, my other uncle's house. We had some cases like that. My sister, lost her baby, in the house, and she's been like stuck in the toilet, with the baby it's for like hours, and we've been like trying to explain to the soldiers that it's ambulance. Every time I'm late after 8 or 9, my mother or my father, they call me like, go home, it's late. They're going in. For me, I go work, I feed my children, I pay all my expenses. That's it. So the other things like, just go relax, have fun, go out, do a barbecue. I don't need that because something may happen at that time, and then I will blame myself for this because I went to relax and I know that I'm still under occupation. The things that happened in these years, it was still, it's still difficult for all of us. No one can say that I'm okay with that, I can live with that. But still, because we want to be alive, because this is what makes us living, because we love life, not because we can handle the blood and the killing and stuff. No one can do that. But I think it's some kind of, I don't know if it's a dignity or that, I'm a strong person, or I don't know what, but I think no one is.
We hope that the situation will change in the future, the near future. But it's not so it's not easy. It's so difficult to change the situation. The Israelis don't want peace. We are in big prison in Nablus. Yeah.
We have to be optimistic. I cannot say that everything is gloomy and everything is down. Even if we are under occupation, but we are living as much as we can. We're trying to lift up our spirits by introducing ourselves to different cultures and bringing new cultures into Palestine. I do hope that the occupation ends. This is what I wish. I don't wish for anything more than to end the occupation. I will not say I want the checkpoints to be removed, no, because this is something totally minor. Occupation has to come to an end.
Il faut travailler avec la vérité. La vérité dit que les Israéliens sont plus forts que nous. Et aussi, ici en Palestine, ou les Palestiniens en fait, souffrent toutes seules. Les Arabes n'interviennent pas. Les Européens aussi, on travaille, on vit seul. C'est pour cela, c'est un outil de résister par des militaires, par les larmes. Il faut faire quelque chose intéressant, il faut faire quelque chose très loin des temps. Ça suffit, vraiment ça suffit. Car on a perdu beaucoup de choses, on a perdu des terres, les arbres, les enfants, les écoles, l'éducation, on a perdu beaucoup de choses. C'est pour cela, moi, j'ai dit, ça suffit, il faut faire quelque chose de logique. Ça ne marche pas avec la mentalité des pierres devant des tanks. Ça ne marche pas ça. Comme vous savez, comme vous traitez avec les enfants aussi, vous voyez les enfants, combien ils ont besoin de vivre, combien ils ont besoin de donner, combien ils ont besoin de changer la situation. Moi, j'ai dit ça pour les Palestiniens avant les Israéliens. Ça suffit pour nous, ça suffit la souffrance. On ne veut pas perdre la future de jeunesse. J'ai discuté beaucoup avec les soldats au checkpoint. Quand les soldats m'ont capturé sur la montagne, je leur dis, moi, je suis humain comme vous. Ils m'ont dit, on n'aime pas faire ça, mais nous sommes obligés. Et chaque officier, quelques officiers m'ont dit que moi, victime comme toi, Mazen Abou Sharon dorme avec ses femmes, ses familles, et nous reste là sur le checkpoint. Ça c'est-à-dire, les deux côtés, on a envie de vivre. Ça suffit, ça, pour moi. Nous ne sommes pas des pierres au chèque.
I don't think that this is the best time or the right time to solve the conflict. The conflict will continue, unfortunately. I do believe that if we would like to solve this conflict, we have to produce a new generation. A generation that believes in secular one state. A state that is not based on racism or even religion. A state where both Palestinians and Israelis live together. A state where nobody will be discriminated for his religion or for his ethnicity. A state for Palestinian Muslims, Christians and Samaritans and Jews, Israeli Jews. I don't know the name of this state. It might be whatever, but there is no solution but this one.
We lived together once, so I think we can do it again. But still, now we cannot just say let's live together. I mean, I cannot just face all these people and the refugees and tell them, oh, it's easy. We did it before. We can do it now, because it's not. Now they just like they lost more. They suffer more. And, so I always speak about this hope that we know that we can live together. We want something to be changed, but we don't know when. We don't know how. But we're still trying. I mean, we didn't just stop and say we cannot have peace. No, we're still trying to find a way. But I think still we don't know how. But I think all this work you see, all these NGOs, all these people going to study and try to live a normal life, it means that they are looking for a way to have peace, to live with the other side. But maybe till now it's still it's still ambiguous. It's still there's a fog. We don't know exactly how we do it, but hopefully it will be soon.
Tucked in one day, stranded ashore, my head overflowing, and my pockets full of gold. I'm looking at tipsy dogs and barking horse. Dancing on the innocent boats, and I think to myself, and I think to myself, I am a son of a big burning what's left of the dream. Try to pull me out, fuck you. Babe, wake me up, I love to. You can't turn me down. You can't turn me down. Je vais pas traîner sur les genoux.
Idea or what you are doing here, and
looking forward to see my city in peace again. Nablus was as one of the eldest cities in the world. It was a very nice place before the war situation, and I'm sure that it will be nice again in the peace atmosphere again. Not only Nablus but all of Palestine. And I think that there are a lot of people by both of the parties that believe in peace, believe in living together. And even we saw even in the war situation that many of the soldiers are bored of what do they have. They thought. With us, and they felt really very bad. We are counting on the free people in both of the parties to start their initiative and to solve this kind of situation.
Not letting anyone through.
to go to Jerusalem. And actually, when they made the Oslo agreement, it was that you agree that you can go to Jerusalem, but not any time, because sometimes they may close it, and it's not under your control. It's under their control. I can go to Bethlehem until I go to Ramallah first, and then I can go to Bethlehem, because now there is no cars going from here to Bethlehem or Hebron. So they already separate the north from the center from the south, and so I don't think it's a life. I used to go in a 20-minute to Jenin, and now I spend more than an hour extra, 1 hour extra to go there. And still, sometimes I have to stop to ask for